Talking to the dead. Through Alexa, voice clone. Comfort or horror? What if you could speak to a loved one after they've passed, through your smart speaker? Welcome to the age of interactive mourning. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Grief Tech series. In this video, we're moving from the visual to the vocal, into the intimate psychological territory of voice clones and smart speakers. If you've ever wished you could hear someone's voice again, just one more time, technology now says you can. You may not have heard about it, but it's already happening. Amazon recently demonstrated a version of Alexa that could mimic the voice of a deceased relative. Using less than a minute of recorded speech, Alexa could read a bedtime story to a child in the voice of their dead grandmother. The demonstration was shocking and emotional, and it raised one of the biggest questions in AI and ethics right now. Does this comfort the living or disturb the dead? Let's get clear on what's technically happening. Voice cloning is a form of synthetic audio created using deep learning. It takes a short audio sample, sometimes as short as 3 seconds, and replicates the vocal tone, cadence, emotion, and speech pattern of the original speaker. Companies like Respeecher, Descript, via Overdub, and iSpeech are already offering this service. In many cases, the tech is used to replicate celebrity voices, create audiobooks, or develop virtual assistants. But increasingly, it's being used for grief-based applications. A child can have their parents' voice read them stories. A widow can ask their husband's voice to turn off the lights. A father can hear his son's voice say, "Good morning," every day, long after they've passed. This is not science fiction. It's packaged software. And once again, we're faced with the same emotional paradox. Is this healing or haunting? Let's begin with the appeal. For many people, the voice is the most intimate marker of presence. It carries not just sound, but energy, tone, and memory. We don't just miss what people say, we miss how they say it. The scratch of their laugh, the softness of their whisper, the pause before they answer. Hearing a voice again after someone dies can feel like a direct portal to connection. So when Grief Tech offers a way to recreate that voice, it feels like magic. It feels like relief, like closure. But is it? Let's take a deeper look. The moment you turn a human voice into a programmable feature, you've crossed into simulation. It's no longer them. It's a version of them, generated by you. And this is where the ethical and emotional complexity begins. Because even though you may feel connected, what you're really engaging with is a facsimile of connection. You can ask your mother's voice to turn on the coffee machine. You can have your father's voice respond with AI-generated phrases. But they are no longer choosing those words. The illusion of will has replaced the presence of soul. This blurs the boundary between memory and automation. We're used to replaying voicemails, listening to old videos, and revisiting recordings. But voice cloning is different. It responds, it evolves, it gives the illusion that the person is still present. Not as a memory, but as a function. And that illusion can be dangerous, especially for those still deep in grief. Therapists are beginning to report cases where mourners use grief tech tools compulsively, unable to move forward emotionally. These tools prolong attachment, delay closure, and, in some cases, create dependency. Especially in children, where developmental understanding of death is still forming, voice clones can reinforce the idea that death isn't final, just technically inconvenient. Imagine this. A 5-year-old loses their grandparent, but still hears their voice every night through Alexa. They're told it's not really grandma, but the voice says, "I love you," and good night. To a child, that distinction doesn't land. The line between real and synthetic is functionally invisible. Now, imagine years pass. That voice becomes a comfort. But then the subscription service ends. The company shutters, the tech changes. Suddenly, the voice is gone, not because grandma died, but because the cloud storage expired. What does that do to the psyche? When mourning is tied to platform terms and conditions, what happens to the sanctity of grief? Let's move into another layer. Consent. Just like with video-based deepfakes or holograms, voice clones often raise one unavoidable question. Did the deceased consent to be brought back? In most cases, the answer is no. Their voice is reconstructed from old voicemails, social media clips, or recordings from other people's phones. This is where posthumous agency gets erased. Their voice, once sacred, is now programmable. A button, a setting. In spiritual terms, this raises something even deeper. What happens when we turn someone's essence into an app? The voice is more than sound. In many traditions, it's considered an energetic signature, the breath of life. To use it without soul, without presence, without consent, is to animate a shell, a golem of grief, a vocal ghost trained to comfort the living, but divorced from the one who once gave it meaning. And what happens when the technology gets even better? We're already seeing AI systems like 11 Labs that generate voices that can express emotion, sadness, joy, anger, humor. The more nuanced these simulations become, the more convincing the illusion grows. You're not just hearing someone say a phrase, you're hearing them feel it. But again, it's not them. It's your prompt, interpreted by a machine, shaped by probabilities and trained data. The comfort you receive may be real, but the relationship you're feeding? It's with a simulation of sentiment. This leads us to the question of ownership. Who owns your voice when you die? Most people don't know this, but in some jurisdictions, your voice can be trademarked or licensed, even posthumously. Celebrities often sign agreements giving companies the right to use their voice or likeness after death. But what about the rest of us? What about regular people? If a tech company collects enough samples from your smart speaker, your TikToks, or your voicemail recordings, can they build a voice clone of you without your family's consent? Some already are. The market is moving faster than the law. And here's the commercial twist. Grief tech is becoming a subscription model. Monthly fees to maintain voice access, premium charges for custom phrases. In some services, your ability to hear the deceased depends on how much you're willing to pay. That's not just digital mourning. That's monetized memory. Grief becomes a product, a bill. And the more emotionally reliant you become on the voice, the more profitable you become to the provider. So we have to ask, who is grief tech really for? Is it for the mourners or for the platforms? Because every voice interaction adds to a data set. Every emotional exchange becomes training material. Every whispered "I miss you" becomes metadata. Your mourning becomes machine learning. Let's be fair. Some voice cloning tools have helped people find peace. A goodbye they never got. A message of love they missed. In some cases, a voice clone helped someone finally let go. But we must tread carefully. The line between closure and compulsion is thin. And as this tech gets more lifelike, we must redefine what it means to remember someone and what it means to reanimate them. If your loved one could speak from beyond the grave, would they say, "Keep my voice alive"? Or would they say, "Let me rest"? This is not about fear. It's about clarity. It's about free not. Your right to choose how you grieve, how you remember, and how you protect the integrity of memory. Grief is sacred. Memory is powerful. Voice is intimate. Don't let tech flatten those things into features. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SoS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SoS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.